I'm sorry I couldn't be with Keshav today, but I really appreciate the opportunity to say a few words. Because if tigers survive in the wild, Keshav Varma will be one of those who's most responsible. Keshav is a wonderful person. He brings a soft voice with a very, very big heart. And one of the things that I saw that was an amazing combination was someone who brought the skills of the Indian Administrative Service, of which he was a proud member, but also a great entrepreneur in policy and ideas, and a master builder of alliances. I still remember when Keshav first brought to my attention that there were only about 3,500 tigers left in the wild, and that in our lifetimes this iconic species could go extinct, which took both of us just as a tremendous shock and blow to the world and humankind and natural world and tigers in particular. So, and then when we looked at the geography and went country by country and saw the small numbers, we together thought there had to be something done. And of course, Keshav was the one who really put that together. He put together an alliance starting with the Smithsonian and science and environmentalists and business people, governments of all reaches. And what I think was his particular skill was recognizing the catalytic role that only the World Bank can play by bringing all those together with the network that the bank has with finance ministers, economics ministers, development ministers, prime ministers, and presidents, with the idea that ultimately, whether it be saving tigers or development, that the people in the local countries have to own the process. And Keshav worked with each one of the tiger range states to try to help them set their goals, try to understand what had to be done, and then get the backing of the international community to accomplish this. So I also saw over the years that Keshav not only did something tremendous for tigers, but we started to see people that wanted to save other species start to learn from the experience. And with Keshav's style, then we also learned from the things that we did right, but the things we also needed to improve on. So I just wanted to say thank you to Keshav, who did a tremendous job. I've missed working with him, but I thank him for what he did for tigers, for the World Bank, and I know the tigers thank him too. Keshav, you've made a tremendous difference. You're a good friend, and there's a lot of tigers around that have a chance to make it through another generation because of your commitment and your heart. So thank you.
Keshav, I am so sorry that I'm not at your farewell today. I'm on an aeroplane going to Rwanda to look at the wildlife with my family, and I'm doing it in honor of you, because you more than anybody I know have made me and many others emotionally engaged with large wild animals. Thank you for what you've done on tigers. But thank you also for the wonderful relationship we've had since you joined the bank in 1998. You think of what we did together in the cities of Vietnam and Indonesia. Do you remember those discussions we had with the mayor of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City and down in Can Tho? Do you remember with the governor of Jakarta and the mayor of Surabaya? Do you remember how we struggled with how to really develop cities that are competitive and livable and bankable? So thank you for all you've done in your leadership. But thank you above all for an event which happened thanks to you in 1998. Do you remember we had dinner? There was a downpour outside. It was a dinner to discuss city development in Vietnam, and you brought a young woman along. And during that dinner, I eyed her, and I've now been married to her for the last 13 years. So without you, Keshav, I would be a lonely old bachelor. So good luck to you. Think about your next career. You might want to come over to the World Resources Institute, the leading think tank and do tank in the world. So give it some thought. Best of luck, Andrew.
I'm very happy indeed to be part of this farewell gathering to our friend Keshav Varma, who has given more than 15 years to the services of the World Bank, and I'm happy to say that 10 years of that was during my period with you. I have to say about Keshav that He is an extraordinary person to work with, even as president of an institution like the bank, because he approached me always as someone who had had the sort of experience that I was lacking, and was able to give me sort of fatherly advice on how I might run the institution. He did it all very delicately, but very purposefully, and unlike many others in the institution, was far from scared of the office of the president. He always portrayed himself as having had such an office and was giving advice to a younger person who was now coming in to take responsibility. It's not surprising that he did that because of his experiences in India and his remarkable work in the 2 states that he served. And more than that, based on his experience at the World Bank, he demonstrated that he was a very effective leader in terms of community development and in terms of just the very things that the bank needs to do: alleviating poverty, building infrastructure, and making sure that communities had a wholesome and a whole, complete approach to their development. Indeed, he was a remarkable member of our team when I was there, and when I left, I think he found it necessary to demonstrate that he had completed that job. So he went off and decided that first tigers and then snow leopards would be at the core of his interest. I have to say that, having been kept informed by him on the work that he did on tigers particularly, that I was deeply impressed by the way in which he operated. To get the president of the bank and President Putin together in a room to discuss his subject was really quite an exercise. And then to extend the work on tigers to other countries in Asia was a real achievement, and I congratulate him for it. He seems to have made huge progress on the tiger issue in a variety of different ways, and now he's focusing on the snow leopard. This initiative was something that was new to the bank, and it was as a result of the extraordinary work that Keshav has done. I'm very happy to be part of this farewell team, not because we're farewelling him, because I have no doubt that he'll continue to do constructive things, but to recognize the work that he's done. And I have to recognize also Ritu, who is much smarter than he is and who essentially gives him the balance that he needs to contain his overwhelming desire to put the world right. I regard him as a real friend. I'm thrilled to have been associated with him and with Ritu and with their 2 daughters in their own development. And I'm very happy to have a chance by this medium to join with all of you in wishing him well for the future and in thanking him for the many contributions that he's made to the World Bank.